sure by now you've heard the tea about the T app, how it got hacked not once, but twice. And the biggest questions we get at our firm from women who have used T are usually, what do I do if the guy I posted about tries to sue me, and now especially, can I get my leaked private information or intimate photos off of the internet? Don't worry, I've got you. Stick around. I'm Cassandra Harner. I'm not a lawyer, I just work here. And I'm just gonna go through today what happened with the T app, how it might affect you, and what you can do about it. So maybe you joined the T app because you've been burned in the past and you wanna keep yourself safe while you're trying to meet and date men online. Reasonable, that's what the app promised you, safety and privacy. Then the first breach happened in July this year. Everybody who signed up on the app before February 2024 had their verification information leaked to these sites hackers use to buy, sell, trade, and brag about their spoils. That's your ID, address, username, and the photos you sent to prove that you're a woman. Miracle they let me in, am I right? Maybe you're thinking, no problem, I signed up in 2025. Well, unfortunately, only a couple weeks later, everyone's DMs got leaked too. Since the second breach, the app has disabled the DM feature. But now it's possible that the abusive men that these women were trying to avoid can access all of the messages they sent on the app and use it against them. And they have. These vengeful dudes posted a map with women's addresses revealed from the hack where they can easily cross-reference other data discovered in the breach. So since then, some women have reported stalking, harassment, threats, cyberbullying, and violations of privacy. So 10 of these women have filed class action lawsuits against the app. They claim that T was negligent with how they handled data that they said they deleted after your accounts were verified. So all of this happened on an app that advertised itself on being private and secure to protect the safety of women? How could this be? Hacking aside, nobody can enforce the idea that what happens on T stays on T. But I'm anonymous, you may say, but bad news about that too, that's not entirely true. More than just hackers can uncover your identity. If there are legal proceedings, a John Doe or Jane Doe lawsuit can subpoena platforms to uncover anonymous users. It may take a while and it's pretty expensive, but it can be done. And we have done it here at Minc Law. A lot. The reality is this app can't promise safety for anybody. Nowhere on the internet can fully and completely guarantee your safety or privacy. We have to have some sort of security measures in place for ourselves and our personal data. Don't worry, I have all sorts of stuff about that later on in this video. So T has been the word on everyone's lips lately, but honestly, it's not that unique. Apps like these are a part of a long history of whisper networks, or they're also called shaming sites or gossip sites or cheater sites. Our CEO has built his law practice around sites like these for about a decade, and our firm is dedicated to our clients that are dealing with online harassment, defamation, and privacy violations. So yes, that means we do represent men who have been defamed on T, or Are We Dating the Same Guy, just as we did on older sites like The Dirty or Ripoff Report. You can hear about how Aaron Minc thinks about the T app as it compares to all these other sites he's had experience with in his practice in another video. Look, women have always had the honored tradition of protecting ourselves and building community by word of mouth. Nobody's gonna take gossip away from us. But I hate to say it, forums like these that are intended to keep women safe from genuine harm and abuse are so easily misused and unfairly and disproportionately shaming and defaming other people. It's because of instances like these, it delegitimizes the entire community, and it's probably part of what fueled these hackers to target T in the first place and how they were able to justify their actions, at least amongst themselves. All this to say, we also understand that there are people who misuse the claim for defamation to intimidate people who are genuinely trying to use these networks like T for their intended purpose, to stay safe from abuse. So someone threatening a frivolous defamation suit for a claim you made on T could be an extension of that abuse. Now that the T app is all over the news, it's not impossible that someone you posted about could get the idea to file a lawsuit. So then, how do you defend yourself?
Well, it's a free country. The First Amendment protects free speech.
Well, actually...
A lot of people don't understand that not all speech is considered free speech, which means it's not protected by the First Amendment. Defamation is not considered protected free speech, so there are legal consequences for it. If you're being accused of defamation and threatened with legal action, let's get our facts straight first and understand what our rights are. First of all, every condition in this list needs to be met for something to qualify as defamation. First, a false statement of fact, not an opinion, about the plaintiff. So it has to identify the guy you're talking about and make a statement that can be proven true or false. A Opinions are subjective, so there's no way to prove them with evidence, and everyone has a right to express their opinion.
That's my opinion!
That's what free speech is. Second, publication to at least one third party. Technically, anybody who isn't the guy you're talking about can be considered a third party, but if you're on T, that's absolutely a third party because a bunch of people on the app can see it. Third, fault amounting to at least negligence. So negligence is a legal term here, and so it means that you didn't necessarily have to be lying on purpose, but you didn't bother to check whether or not it was true. This is all assuming that the guy you're talking about isn't a famous person or a public figure, because that negligence threshold changes to something called actual malice. And that comes up all the time when I'm talking about people who are in the news, so we'll get to that in a different video. And last but not least, it causes harm to his reputation. So just because he's really mad about it doesn't always mean he can prove there was harm to his reputation. He has to measure and prove damages with evidence. So if your statement doesn't check all of these boxes, he's not likely to make a successful defamation claim against you. But if you've been serving, and need to defend yourself against defamation allegations, here are the strongest defenses. Truth. Prove the statement is substantially true. Come with receipts. I know it's hard, it's not like every moment of our lives is recorded and saved. Or is it? Opinion. Statements of opinion are protected free speech. This can be a tricky one though, and it's a pretty case-by-case situation sometimes. So if you're not sure, it wouldn't hurt to consult with a lawyer to make sure that your statement qualifies as an opinion. Sometimes it's pretty cut and dry though. He's creepy. How can you prove that? You can't. It's an opinion. He's a chomo. Well, that alleges criminal behavior. That could be defamatory. He's DL. That depends on some other context. A lawyer has to know the full story to make the best determination here. So there are other defenses about privilege, consent, and statute of limitations, blah, 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 but those probably don't apply to your situation as much. And hey, I get it. Sometimes we get carried away. It could be that he does have a valid case for defamation. But that doesn't mean you can't defend yourself and use the best strategies available to protect your privacy and your sanity during this process. A lawsuit shouldn't mean that this ruins your reputation, your livelihood, or compromises your safety. There are still plenty of options available to you. I can't stress this enough. It's worth having at least a consultation with an attorney if you're faced with a lawsuit. These issues are very complex and you need someone with the right skills to advocate for you. Don't just Google attorney near me. You should find an attorney that has specific experience with online defamation. So, about the other big question. How can I keep my privacy safe after the T breach? Not to fearmonger, but a lot of these apps like BoxScore, which failed, T-Born, which I think also failed, and T for Her, which who knows how long that'll last. There's been a pattern that non-consensual images start popping up almost immediately on these apps. That's called NCII, also known problematically as revenge porn. That's illegal. Luckily, the apps get caught for it and removed from the App Store pretty quickly. But that means not only could there be info about you from the data breach, but some asshole may have put private pictures of you on one of these anti-T apps or hell, anywhere else on the internet. I've got answers for all of that. First, you should figure out what information is actually out there. Google yourself, reverse image search yourself, see what comes up. If you see your private info, so that's your ID, social security number, financial info, biometric data, health info, address, or private messages, that's all bad news. If you see any photos you sent to a guy that were meant to stay private that ended up posted online, that's also bad news. There are specific resources for this, like stopncii.org, that can be a huge help for these kinds of situations. I know that this can be really scary, and it's hard to tell if there's still private stuff about you floating around on the deep web or the dark web, and things can keep popping up even after you thought you took it down. It's okay. We've got you covered. We have what's called a Digital Risk Protection Service, or DRP, and it's a subscription that monitors the internet and alerts you if it finds any information about you that you don't want out there. It's super customizable, so you can tell the system what you want to monitor for, and it will run in real time 24/7. That includes any photos of you, any unauthorized use of your personal data, login attempts, impersonations, any info popping up on the deep web or the dark web, or any public forums on any platform. You can also just keep an eye on what people might be saying about you online. We also help you stay secure after a risky event happens, like a data breach, and prevent future attacks. You can also include a password manager, a VPN, an identity theft insurance in the DRP service package. How it works is DRP will email you if something is a potential threat. You say, hey, take that down, and we immediately get to work on removing it. Yes, We do, the human beings that work here. That means you also get legal support anytime you need it from our experienced and dedicated attorneys. They're very smart and they're my friends. That's Mackenzie, that's Sarah, that's Dorian. They're so cool. So depending on your goals, one of our attorneys can also pursue legal action if someone shares your intimate photos or videos without your consent. Unlike maybe certain apps under class action right now, we actually do prioritize your safety and privacy. So yeah, like I said, maybe nobody can truly guarantee safety online, but I have to say, here at Minc Law, we give you peace of mind in a digital world. Yes, I know it's our motto. It's our motto for a reason. If you're freaking out in any way because of all of this mess with the T-app, I hope any of this has helped you out and points you in the right direction. So please don't hesitate to reach out to us if you're facing online harassment, invasion of privacy, if you need defense for a defamation suit, or any other threats to your online reputation. Give us a call at the number on the screen or visit minclaw.com to use our live chat or our contact form. Our intake team will use your evidence to evaluate your case and guide you to your next steps. Feel free to ask any questions right here in the comments or send us a DM. I'm right there for you behind the screen. Yes, that's me answering the DMs. So stay safe out there, online and off. And this is just coming from me. If he's got bad vibes, just call off the date. I'm Cassandra Harner, and that's the T on T. Thanks for watching.